Hey everybody, it's Mike from Growtopia, but this is also a vehicle service announcement for everybody that's out there, either not just for the growing channel, but in the automotive community where I first started off at. So, being it's getting into this time of year, we got the leaves falling, right? Well, one of the things us vehicle lovers have to realize is that leaves are not our friend. Leaves might be our friend on the growing side because it's free mulch and fertilizer and it's great for making your own soil. But in the automotive community, it is basically life or death for your vehicle. So let me start this off video, and I want everybody to make sure you watch this, share this with your friends, because this happened to me on a Monday night and it was scary shit. So for anybody who doesn't know it and who are new to the channel, I have a 2001 Dodge Ram 2500 SLT Laramie with a 5.9 liter V8 Magnum running exhaust stacks in the truck. I know I'm very well hated, okay? I have an old Cherry Bomb exhaust system because I'm old, and I bought them when Cherry Bomb was still around. So that dates me a little bit, and it sounds freaking awesome. Anyway, so about 3-4 years ago, I had to change out my wide pipe, which is on the bottom, that goes down below the truck to the rest of my exhaust system. Now they're 4-inch stacks, and it eventually goes down to a 2.5. Don't explain how that happened, right? So we're gonna crawl under this big boy. And you can see it comes down to the old Cherry Bomb. Now you can see by the heat on there, this exhaust system gets extremely hot. This truck's also running a performance tune. It's had a lot of engine work done to it. Basically at the time I turned it into a Baja truck, running full end fucking differentials on both ends, nothing fancy, suspension, coilovers in the front, and leaving the good old leaf springs in the back. Running on 35-inch very aggressive tires. And this thing will drive through mud. I mean, this thing's got so much money dumped into it, I don't even want to, it's like 300,000 times the value of this truck. But it was something I did over the course of time since I was 16 when I had the truck. So this is literally my first vehicle. And it's been customized over and over again. Did a whole new facelift on it. You guys can look at videos before the growing channel where I did a whole facelift on the truck, where I took out the fenders and I replaced the hood and the headlights, and I put a fancy fucking grill on it. That's way more than the cost of the value of the truck, but hey, you know what? When it's your vehicle, you love it and you want it to last, and you get drunk one night and you order a bunch of parts and you got to install them. So anyway, so that's a quick rundown with the truck, right? And you guys can watch other videos to find out more what's about this truck. So Monday, I go to work in the morning, and I had it decorated. I drive to work in the morning. I get off about 7 o'clock at night, and it's about 7:30, almost 8 o'clock. I'm on the highway heading home. 3-lane highway. I'm in the middle lane. I'm cruising along doing about 65. And I'm driving down the road, and I'm smelling something. I'm like, now it's the end of October going into November. We have nights that are in the 40s. It's not unheard of to have people running a fireplace or even a bonfire. We have a lot of bonfire people out here, so it's really not out of the ordinary. So I'm driving along. Now this truck doesn't have a recirculation in it. It's a 2001 Dodge Ram, so it's either air is on, air is off, doesn't matter. The smell of the world around me comes in the windows. Comes through the vents. So I put the windows down because it's starting to smell a little smoky in the truck, and next thing I start smelling is the smell of burning leaves. Now it's not also out of the ordinary for people around me to burn their leaves. So I didn't really take anything from it other than it was super strong, so I thought maybe it was somebody in a house that was close to the expressway on why I was smelling leaves burning. So I'm about 2 exits away from my house, and all of a sudden, while I have my windows down because the smell was like insane, this car comes flying up next to me, slams on the brakes, blowing the horn, and it's a husband and wife. And if you guys get to see this video, I honestly want to say thank you very much. You saved my truck and my fucking life, and I want to give you guys a major hug because if you did not alert me, I would not be making this video right now. I can tell you that, because this is a gas-powered truck. This isn't a diesel-powered truck. where I probably would have survived from it if it would, being that it's gasoline and the fuel tank is not that far below the bed of this truck, I would have died. I'm sitting on about 3/4 of a tank. I'll show you guys where the fuel tank is and why my concern hit my head as fast as it did. So they come flying up next to me and they're like, "You're on fire, you're on fire." And I'm like, "What?" And as soon as I'm about to turn around and look out my back window into the bed of my truck, because for starters, when I first started smelling something funky, I looked at my temperature gauge and I'm running cool. So I'm like, well, I got this fancy fucking air intake system on it. This truck should run cold. It's supposed to run cold so that when I'm driving through deep snow or deep sand or deep mud, this thing doesn't overheat. This thing is extremely overly built. But it's old. It's 20 some odd years old. So it's not unheard of for something to start going. Once they hit the 30s, things might start going more, and then once they hit the 40s, things really start going more. Trucks, not just people. Or cars in general, vehicles in general. So as I'm about to turn around, the whole cab of my truck was fucking orange. I look out that back window and I'm telling you people, it was literally from the back end, where right below the window, to about where the wheel wells were. Glowing red flames. Now, the bar and the strap is always sitting in the bed of my truck, and I'm gonna hop inside here so you guys can see some of this stuff. So I'm in the middle lane of a 3-lane highway. I look to the right for a quick second. There is nobody next to me. I veered off the highway into the grass. I'm gonna put you down for a second. Don't fall on my ass. I veer over. I veer over into the grass, slam on the brakes, get out of the truck, and as soon as I stop, the fireball is above the roof of my truck. It's above the roof of the truck, and it's the whole bed. It's fucking one big giant fireball. I didn't think. I just jumped in the bed of the truck, and I started stepping on every fucking leaf. I started brushing all the leaves out the back of the truck. These straps are in here. Now, these don't look too bad, but you can see a little bit of dark singed marks on here. These things were just sitting back here. And now for the reason for the water bottles, that's the next thing that happened to me, right? So you could actually see the darkness of here. You can see how the plastic got melted. So what happened was, this whole area was on fire. And as you can see how the leaves collect under it, what a bad thing. Look at the fucking scorch marks on the stacks. These things were brand new, and these things were still nice and chrome. Look at the scorch marks of everything. You can almost see a little darkness down here as well. You see all the burnt leaves that's left over down below the truck. And it literally, see, this was normal like this, but I can tell that it burnt it back a little bit on here. Got a little bit of discolor in there, which is normal, but the flames were all up here running along this line. It's amazing it didn't melt anything back here. But you can see some of the paint got melted. This was all black. It's not black anymore. You can see how red it is now. Red was the color that I had under here, and this was all painted black. The bed liner, I gotta say, thank God this bed liner that came with this truck did not melt and go up in flames as well. I don't know what's in it, but it melted a little bit down here. So what happened was the exhaust stacks got really hot, and because this thing was sitting in my backyard for a while, as you can see again, this has been sitting in my front yard under a tree, and you can see all the leaves that are under it. And it just, as soon as it gets hot, that's it. It was a continuous fire. I jumped back out of the truck, and while I'm on the side of the highway, I'm kicking leaves out of the back of the truck. I'm scared out of my fucking mind. I'm kicking leaves that are on fire out of the truck into the grass on the side of the highway, knowing I can control it on the ground. I had to get it off the back of the truck. Thank God my cooler that I bring to work every day still had a bunch of bottles of water in it. I'm grabbing bottles of water out of the fucking cooler, and I'm dumping it on the fire just to get it out. I have no fire extinguisher. It's my feet, and it's bottles of water. I burnt the bottom of my shoes. I burnt the bottom of my pants that I wear. Luckily, the pants that I wear for work are fire retardant, so thank God, because otherwise I would have been a freaking flaming motherfucker in the back of my truck. Oh my God. It was probably one of the scariest things in my life that I've ever dealt with. And to show you guys what is the creepy part is look at the fuel tank. I told you, this is a big fuel tank that's in this truck. and it's literally right below the bed. Literally right below the bed. Now, yes, there is a gap between the bed and the fuel tank. But what I was really worried about was that I have drainage holes that are back here where the fire was, and I was afraid of a hot leaf that was on fire falling down onto the fuel tank, melting the plastic tank, and then ba-boom. So, for anybody that's out there with a truck with exhaust stacks, gas or diesel, make sure your fucking pipes are wrapped, because when I had them wrapped, I never had this issue, ever. And always make sure you clean the leaves out of your bed. Before this truck leaves my property ever again, there's going to be no leaves, and it's going to have to get wrapped. Which brings me to this now. So this is the wrap that I have. I got 2 spools of this. Okay. You got these metal clips, metal ties that you use, and I also use this as well, this high temp. I've used it for years every time I went to go wrap a vehicle pipes, or even when I did stacks on other trucks. I didn't do it this time around because I was lazy and I thought I can get away with it because I liked how clean it looked. When I talked to a mechanic friend of mine, he explained to me of a story, or not explained, but told me a story of him about, I think it was like 5 years ago, if I remember correctly. And he told me, I don't know why it goes there, I just thought of it now. He told me that about 5 years ago, he had a 60-something Mustang. He had got it from his grandfather, it was passed down to his father, then eventually he got it. And it wasn't running right, and he parked it in his backyard. Thing was lowered all the way down to the ground. I mean, it was like inches off the ground. Beautiful car, and he had it in his backyard for about 3 or 4 years non-running. He decides one day to get it started up again. So he spends a whole weekend getting this thing started, from Friday night, a whole day Saturday into the night. Sunday morning, he gets it finally up and running. Finally gets it started. It's covered in grease and shit. He goes, I go to take a shower. He goes, I'm in the shower. And it's around this time of year. And I'm in the shower and I'm smelling something. I'm like, wow, you know, it's a little warm out for somebody to have a fireplace going. So he's in the shower, and his shower doesn't face his backyard like mine does. So he's in the shower, and next thing you know, he hears the fire alarm go off, and he's in his room, he's getting dressed, and so on and so forth. And you know, he went in his kitchen, he got himself a cup of coffee, he's looking for something to wear, he's got his phone charging, so on and so forth. Next thing you know, there's a fire department banging on his door. There's a fire in your backyard. So he freaks out. He's afraid the car is going to go up in flames. Come to find out, it's the car. Because the car was lowered with side pipes on it that were bare, just like these stacks, the side pipes were sitting in the leaves and the dry grass. Guess what happened to the car? The car went up in flames. There was no saving it. It was a complete, total loss. And he had said to me that he was planning on moving the car to his driveway and wrapping his exhaust system because he was afraid of something like that happening. But he didn't want to move the car because he wanted it to warm up a little bit so that he could move it. Because sometimes older vehicles like this one, you need to get them to warm up to get the juices flowing in the transmission. Otherwise, they really don't want to move. This truck doesn't want to move at all when it's fucking cold. You got to get a little warmer. Once the tranny fluid gets warm, then the transmission will shift and you can move it. And he said ever since that day, every vehicle he's ever owned that's a lowered vehicle or a lifted truck with custom pipes, he wraps them. As if it's going to be sitting in, you know, like low on the ground, like, you know, the car was. The Army truck, I'm not wrapping it because that thing's sitting on a 4-inch lift with 37-inch Humvee tires. Those pipes sit up so high, and the furthest those pipes actually touch anything is the wood chip pile when I'm moving it from one end of the property to the other. But anyway, guys, I wanted to just really get this out there for everybody that are young, who are getting into vehicles, who are older, or probably somebody in my age group. I didn't really think of it until Monday night. And Monday night I was up till like 1 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't stop thinking. I freaking called my house. I said, meet me outside with a hose. The fucking truck went up in flames. Da 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 da. So what did I do? I ended up buying fire extinguishers from Amazon with mounting brackets. This truck now gets a fire extinguisher just because of those exhaust stacks. And every vehicle I own will get a fire extinguisher as well. The Army truck is going to get one. The red Chevy's going to get one. This guy's going to get one. The Suburban has one already inside of it. Because I was originally bought that vehicle to do like camping videos with, but I never did camping videos. So But anyway, guys, that's it over here. That's Mike at Growtopia. It's a vehicle service announcement, protection. Make sure your vehicle doesn't go up in flames. It's something that everybody's got to keep an eye on. Even if you don't think you have a lowered car, if you park on the grass with a car that's even stock height, I mean, think of like the Honda Civics and the Honda Accords, like the newer ones. You know, those are sitting low, so just keep that in mind. It doesn't take much to do it. I would say you want to put gloves on, because this is fiberglass related. You want to definitely spray it with this. This is really good. You could use any type of heat coating. Anything that's like 5,000 and above is best. You spray the whole exhaust system, and then you're going to wrap it with this, and you put this on it, and when you wrap it every half of it. So like every half overlaps the other half, and you got to make sure it's tight. If I'm not mistaken, you run it through water too. I can't remember the whole recipe of it. It has been over 10 years since I wrapped somebody's exhaust system, so I'm going to actually research how I do it again, how I used to do it, how everybody does it. And that's the reason why motorcycles, they got them wrapped. It's not just, I mean, motorcycles, it's so you don't burn your leg. That's what I really started off doing, was wrapping motorcycles. And then I went into cars and trucks and stuff. And then I didn't do it for my own vehicle, and you know, I almost lost my life and my truck at the same time. Whew. Monday was a scary day. I drank a lot that night. That was a scary day. Going to work Tuesday morning, I was like fucking nuts. But anyway, guys, that's Mike over here at Growtopia. That's a vehicle service announcement for today. We're gonna get into some growing stuff today. I just got a lot of shit going on at the property, so that's why I didn't really post any videos yet for November. What to grow, what not to grow, what we're doing, what's going on. Anyway, guys, that's it for now. Later. Be safe out there. Check your vehicles, please, because you don't need to lose your life over something that you just didn't do. Later.